Hey, Steeler Nation Midwest, coming to you real quick with a quick wrap up of the today's game of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. If you watched the game or if you've been paying attention to any of your social media sites or sports sites, you know that the Ravens won 34-17. Um, Pittsburgh struggled offensively a little bit. Turnovers kind of hurt us. We were in the game the whole time until we had that one last big turnover where Russell threw the ball behind the tight end, threw it behind him when he should have threw it over. Should have threw it out. He threw it behind him and took it back to Humphreys. Took it back for a pick six. And that kind of put the game out of reach at that time. It was, in reach at that time. We were driving. So, and then Russell earlier in the game in the first half, he was driving. He broke loose for like maybe a 20, 30-yard run. Looks like he was going to score or at least get down to the one, and safety came over for Baltimore for the Ravens and made a great play. Knocked the ball loose, and then Baltimore recovered it inside the 5-yard line. I think around the 2 or 3 yard line. I don't think they scored on that possession, but still, it killed the momentum. And because Pittsburgh's defense had locked up for a minute, but they're on the field too much, and we were already shorthanded. Sean Elliott wasn't there. You had Dante Jackson not playing, holding him out because of the back spasms. Uh, Joey Porter Jr. hurt his calf in the first half. Uh, Looked bad, like he was having problems walking. I'm hoping that he'll be able to go on Wednesday, Christmas Day. Uh, he does have. I mean, the trainers they usually got good treatment, but we don't know what's wrong. They haven't said what's wrong yet, so they probably won't know until tomorrow. They probably won't report that. They may, if I'll listen to some stuff later on today, they may report it now. But uh, he tried to go in the second half after halftime, but he couldn't go. It tightened up on him. The bad weather, cold, and I think that is why they held Pickens and Elliott out for sure, because of their soft tissue injuries, and there's no need of them going out there in a game that you're going to be banging in, and then making that injury worse, and now you miss the Kansas City game and possibly the Cincinnati game. If it gets even worse, you might miss the first round of the playoffs. So no, we're not doing that. So sometimes you just got to you got to try to win with what you got, man. And it just didn't work out today. It didn't work out last week against Philly, and it didn't work out today against the Ravens. We got to be at full strength. So uh, that's a draft situation we'll talk about in February. But um, situation there is that Pittsburgh is still in first place in the division AFC North. They own all tiebreakers with the Ravens because of conference wins and things of that nature. And basically, so Pittsburgh still sits at 3. So it's Kansas City. They won today. Buffalo plays tomorrow. Uh, Pittsburgh still at 3. And then you go down the list, and then they have Pittsburgh playing. They would have, if the playoffs were to start today or next week, Pittsburgh would play the Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers would have to come back to Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, where they were earlier this year they took a loss. But the Chargers are a better team. We are too. But you know, playoffs are different, man. It's a different speed, as we discussed earlier in another podcast. It's a different speed. So you got to have all you guys on hitting on all cylinders. But yeah, it's just a quick wrap up. So on Monday we'll do a podcast of Pittsburgh Steelers podcast, Steeler Nation Midwest, but I'll be joined by some football guys from Kansas City that are Chief fans, and we'll go over matchups and things of that nature, weaknesses and strengths of both teams, and what's needed for each team to secure victory, and why they may lose if they do lose, why each team may lose if they don't do certain things. And I'm talking about the Steelers and the Chiefs on Christmas Day. So we'll do that podcast on the 23rd. Tomorrow, because of the way the schedule's working, I normally wouldn't do the wrap up until Tuesday, but because of the short week, I'm guessing that more than likely the press conference will either be tomorrow, or it'll be Monday. So, but I want to get that post. I want to get that pregame out for Kansas City, that pregame post. So I'll be paying attention to the wire, looking at injuries and things of that nature, and see because it's a short week for both teams. They both have to play. with the same day's rest, so there's no excuses. And Pittsburgh doesn't have to travel. KC has to travel. They have to come across. They have to come halfway across the country. So maybe they probably got a charter flight just for them. So I'm pretty sure they're not flying commercial. So it's probably a 2-hour flight, and they'll be in Pittsburgh, but they still got to travel, right? So we got the upper hand with that. But they've been winning close games, even on the road. So we got to be hitting on all cylinders, man. And I'm thinking Pickens and them will be back. Deshaun Elliott will be back. Ogunjobi will be back. Uh, we're hoping Porter will be able to play. Hopefully the calf is not as bad. The spasms are also from Dante Jackson. Hopefully he's all ready to go. And then offensively, we just need to get it. We just need to settle down and get busy, man, to get this win on Christmas Day. But I'll do a complete wrap up tomorrow of this Baltimore Ravens game versus the Steelers. We'll go over like whatever played at bad caused some issues because they did have. I didn't get to. I watched the game, but I didn't get to really. I seen some things that concerned me in the front, but with the front line, with the offensive line, but not enough paying attention to it to see who really was the problem. And this time I have to look and see what defense the Ravens switched to because they mixed it up and see if there was any combos or anything like that with the offensive line that were missed or whatever. So basically, Steeler Nation Midwest. It's a quick wrap up. Like I said, quick wrap up. So I'm gonna get off of here, and you can enjoy your weekend and enjoy watching some football tomorrow if you plan to do that. And you'll get a podcast from me tomorrow evening, post game Baltimore Ravens Pittsburgh Steelers wrap up, 20 to 30 minute wrap up, post game, and then on Monday we'll do the podcast with the Chiefs fans. I mean chief coach, not chief coaches, but chief fans here in Kansas City that know about football, and they're big Chief fans. So we're going to talk about that. So other than that, enjoy yourself. Steeler Nation Midwest and Steeler Nation alike, and don't fret, man. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. So I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.